Hi everybody, welcome to the channel Lightworkers Together. This is Val. I hope you all are doing well. I decided to come out into nature early this morning in the hopes that it would not be too crowded. You can see it's a beautiful day. It's about 66 degrees and a little bit breezy. Now can you hear the birds? It's very peaceful. There's a video that I've been wanting to do for a little bit now, and kind of it's been pushed to the side as I've been doing other things. And with the latest round of escalations and violence and things that have happened, I feel like today is a good day to do it. And the topic for our video today is staying at peace during this time. Spiritual and practical tips. More than ever, it is important for us to maintain as much of a loving and peaceful state as we can. Sorry guys, I'm going to move this mic up a little bit and see if hopefully that's better. There we go. I don't know if you can see how beautiful this is. Hopefully this will be peaceful for some folks. So here's the thing. It is very, very, very easy to become bogged down in the emotions of everything that is going on in the world. I'm not going to mention the other thing going on, because if I mention that, you know, they flag your videos and take them down. But there's other things that happened here in the U.S. yesterday as well. So I just really see it, you all, as an escalation. Sorry for any noise in the background there. I just see it as an escalation, and I'll kind of tell you my feeling about this, okay? As more and more people awaken, and they're spreading love, they're spreading light, there are opposing forces to that, which I think everybody understands that very well. So it's like the more people are trying to bring positive energy into this world, it's kind of, you can almost feel a desperateness to the negative energy side of things, where it's like, it's almost like they're just trying to pour everything on at once now. You know, people are waking up in the thousands, probably millions at this point. I really don't know. It's all good though. So it behooves us to stay in a place of that loving and peaceful energy. Please do not allow yourself to be kind of swallowed up in the 3D reality of what's happening, okay? Because that can lead to depression, you know, it can bring you down into those lower energies, and that's really what negative energies and negative forces would like to happen, okay? It's almost like they're throwing everything at us at this point to try and bring about that effect. Because, you know, the thought process of any kind of lower or negative energies is you throw enough of that on top and it's going to bring people down. It's inevitable, it's going to happen, it's going to break individuals. What they don't realize, of course, is that when you are standing in the light of love and your truth, you will be affected because you have emotions, you have that universal love. So you will be affected, but you will not allow that to bring you down. In fact, if anything, it's going to make you do the opposite. And that's kind of where we are today with this, okay? It is so important at this time, you all, to not allow yourself to be pulled down into those energies. We are human. We are going to be upset, but it's easy to be swallowed up with, can you see that beautiful bird? It's easy to be swallowed up with rage at the injustice of all the things that are happening, right? That is definitely a lower energy, and a negative one at that. It's like we have to, what our responses may have been, we really need to try and counteract them. We really need to try and counteract them with something positive. So I made a little list. I made a little list for myself so I don't forget anything, because it can happen to me. I have to be careful because the majority of my family are not awakened, and they are very much steeped in, this 3D world and kind of the tricks and the traps of it, which is how I think about it. So we're going to start at the top. I've broken this into 2 categories. So staying at peace during this time, spiritual and practical tips. We're going to start with the spiritual tips first, okay? Number 1, positive affirmations. All right. And, some people are not really into affirmations too much. It depends on, what you do. People do different types of meditations, and they can do mantras and things. So I really think of positive affirmations as just kind of another type of mantra. But it actually does work, guys. It does help. So if you're feeling swamped by your emotions, if you know that you are struggling to keep your vibration up, to keep sending out those beautiful, loving, positive waves of energy, you need to help yourself. This is where we are. It's kind of like when they say if you're on an airplane or whatever, an emergency happens, you need to take that oxygen mask and put it on yourself first so that you can then help others. So we kind of really need to make sure we are feeding ourselves the positive and uplifting ourselves so that we can do the same for everybody, because it's crucial that we keep sending out that positive energy more than ever. Now more than ever, it's like we cannot falter at this point, right? We can't falter. That's really what negative energies would like to happen. They would like everybody to just be so pulled down, depressed, exhausted by the sheer amount of violence, hatred, division, and other things that are happening. So I say, don't let it, okay? So, I'm sorry, I digressed again for a second. Back to our list. All right, the spiritual tips. 1, positive affirmations. And these, I would say, just make up for yourself, because you know for yourself what will help you, okay? One thing you can say when you get up every morning, and this should really be tip number 1, I have it as 2, is gratitude. Literally being grateful for what we do have, for the positive things in our life, sets the tone and helps raise our vibration. So sometimes people feel like it's very hard to be grateful in a world when you see all these things happening. But we can be grateful, and we need to focus on that gratitude, and that will help raise our vibration and help us see, okay, there are these terrible things are happening. Yes, you cannot ignore them, right? They're part of this world and they are happening. But we can focus more on the positive things, which of course don't get shown. They don't get news time, they don't get airtime, they don't get talked about, but they're happening nonetheless. And those are the things we need to be truly grateful for. All right, number 3, pray and meditate. So this is so massively important. And a lot of times when our lives get busy, some of our spiritual practices can get cut down, or they can even fall by the wayside. And this has even happened to me where, my meditation will be cut short because I'm hurrying and I have more things I have to do, or I have somewhere I have to be, or whatever the situation is. But we need to make time for these things because they are going to help us and they will make a difference, okay? So the next one is practice grounding and like Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, something like that. And that's going to be different for everybody, whatever type of practice, or even just walking, okay? Even just getting out and walking in nature like what I'm doing now. If you're somewhere where you just can't do that, it's not practical, you can put on a video of like ocean sounds or nature sounds, like you can hear here with the birds in the background, you know, something soothing and something grounding to you. Everybody, and you know, water is very grounding and cleansing both. Really just sending positive healing. Now, this is going to feel like some days is difficult to do, because if you yourself have been put in a position where these energies have dragged you down, you need to recharge, and that's why all these other previous steps are so important for us, okay? So we basically have to refill our cup, right? If you feel your energies getting dragged down, take the necessary steps to build them back up again, okay? It's the next one on the list. So the send positive healing, that healing you can send to yourself, okay? For those of us that practice energy healing and Reiki like myself, you know, definitely that's something we should be doing for ourselves every day, just like we do for humanity and the planet in general every day, which is something that I do. It helps. All these things help. You know, these are tools that our creator, source, universe, whatever you, by whatever name you want to call it, oh, look at the little bird. Can you see how cute? Has given us to help us, okay? I think we'll walk over here. The next one, and this kind of goes along with sending the positive healing. Send all that beautiful love energy out to the collective, okay? So once you kind of fill up your own cup, stay back into your practice. Do not let your practice of sending that beautiful energy out to the collective fall to the wayside because you are getting sucked into negative narratives, okay? Try not to let that happen if you can help it. I'm going to walk over here. Look at the beautiful trees. Okay, and then our next tip is, I'm making sure I'm not missing anything, guys. Practice self-love and self-care. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying before. And this is, again, these are under the spiritual practices. Although some of them can sound like more practical 3D, but they really have to do with our spiritual self. That self-love and that self-care is unbelievably important. And it goes back to the fill your own cup up so that you have it to pour out to others, right? To humanity, to the collective, and to individuals. Crossing the road, guys. Bear with me. Okay. I think we'll climb this little hill here. Okay. All right, on to practical tips. So I think of these more as, look how beautiful, guys. Woo. Clouds, the sun's coming out. I think of these practical tips, in my mind, I kind of divided things up as what do I really classify as feeding the spirit versus helping with 3D world things. So the practical tips are more the 3D world things. All right, at the top we have move your body and release negative energy. And I cannot tell you how much this has helped me, you all. There are times where when I'm having a day where I'm just getting a bombardment from everybody. I have to tell you, yesterday I had people texting me, family members telling me, everybody was bombarding me with all of the latest what is bad, you know, the terrible graphic violence and the things that happened. It's like, folks, this is kind of the brainwashing of this 3D world, is that folks are so brainwashed to feed into that, to talk about it. It goes right to the top of their list. It's like, instead of sharing something positive that happens, people are so in a place of wanting to share all the negative things. So anyway, I was having that kind of day yesterday, you all. I can't lie. Look at the pretty bird in the tree. And it really helped me. I got out a couple times and I really just did some meditating while I was walking, just moving my body and asking, you can call on your angels and spirit guides, asking to just have all that negative energy that was I could feel it backing up. Because when you have that empathic ability, sometimes if we're not careful, we can absorb the negative energy. So moving your body, even if you are not really absorbing it, you're taking it on. Okay, if this is what is being fed to you all day long, let's say you're at work, right? What's everybody talking about? They're going to be talking about the latest disaster, the latest horrible thing that happened. And that, unfortunately, is a normal human situation right now. I'm hoping that changes as time goes on, but that's kind of what it is right now. So, move your body. It will help remove some of that energy and not get it locked in there, basically. That's practical tip. So the next practical tip is limit time watching the news. Or reading the news, however, or even I had to stop watching the news, guys, like completely for a while, I'm not gonna lie. And I was getting tidbits of it from family members, but just the inundation of, there was nothing coming out of their mouths that wasn't negative in nature. Nothing. I literally at one point sat through 20 minutes of just the worst stuff, just the worst negative stuff you could hear, and I decided that was it for me, and this was a few years ago. So generally speaking, I will get my news through, friends, family members, and I try to just, everybody kind of knows me at this point, and they're like, they know I'm like, okay, I only can take so much negativity. So if there's some major world thing that I need to know about, I'll listen, or I'll even scan like the news feed on my phone. Look how pretty, y'all. But I will just do it quickly to see, because we do need to be aware of what's going on in our world. We are in the world, okay? But don't allow yourself to get caught up in it. The next point, limit all negative input, people, and places. So again, it's pretty much near impossible in this world, unless we lock ourselves away somehow, somewhere in a room all by ourselves. And even that, I don't know, put your phone away, have no phone, have no nothing to cut it all out, right? It's why we need to stay kind of in that beautiful, loving energy, that Zen state, because if we do that and we limit the input that we have, what comes into us, then it's easier. You know what I mean? We're not going to get, look how pretty, y'all. We're not going to get overwhelmed by it, right? It's not going to overtake us. Next point, focus on the positive. Again, this is balancing things out, you all, which is kind of what I said in the beginning. It's part of why we are here is to raise the vibration, right? Not just for ourselves, but for the planet, for everybody. It is a balancing out of the equation, because you can kind of see what direction things are in right now. And it's not the best. Look how pretty, guys. We'll go this way. Look how beautiful. That's got to make you feel peaceful, hopefully. All right, next point. Go out into nature and be near water. This kind of ties in with the very similar, almost the same spiritual advice, right? Because we know water is cleansing and clearing. Being out in nature is grounding. And one of the, sorry, I just tucked my notebook up there. One of the readers that I follow, she's very wonderful and intuitive. She has great advice. It's Mandy at Luca Red Tarot. She was talking about all the different ways of cleansing and clearing, and some that I never even thought of. And one of them was, there's salt baths, there's all the usual ones we know about. She talked about taking a wind bath. And I was like, wait, that's awesome. And that explained to me why when I'm out walking, sorry guys, that's a lawnmower behind me. Why when I'm out walking and the wind is really blowing and I love to be out there, and I always feel incredibly refreshed afterwards. So that's a good tip too. When you're out in nature and it's a windy day, you can take a wind bath. She said, going out in the rain, as long as it's not, a torrential downpour or freezing cold or anything, can be very cleansing as well. So those are some practical tips. Next is listen to uplifting music. I find this helps me. Again, guys, these tips and things I'm sharing, these are things from my own experience and my own knowledge, okay? You all may find things, that work for you differently. The point is to find those things, okay? And apply them. Look how beautiful all those birds. Next, we have focus on positive outcomes. And I feel like this is important, because right now, like even when when my dad's talking to me about stuff, it's doom and gloom, guys. And we've all heard it, right? We've all heard the doom and the gloom. And if you try and inject some hope or positivity, basically you'll be told that's impossible and you're crazy. But we all know that nothing is impossible. All things are possible. So what you think about, you bring about, right? And for your own state of mind and being, try and focus on a positive outcome, even if you can't see one really. Even if you're like, okay, logically I just don't see anything positive coming out of this. Create the positive outcome in your mind. What we think about, we bring about. The more we focus on positive outcomes in these situations, the better it's going to be. So basically take the script and flip it, okay? And give it the best positive outcome that you possibly can, and then focus on that. Don't continue to let your mind run over and over and over all the negative stuff, because that is just going to drag you down. And it's not going to help you, and it's not going to help anyone else. It's what I said before. What you do for yourself, you do for everyone, right? We are all connected energetically. What you do for one, you do for everyone. So if we end up getting pulled down and steeped in all the negative, then it's just a landslide of it, right? And that's not good. That's not good for us, and that's not good for anybody. Look how beautiful, guys. So focus on positive outcomes, even if you can't see it. Even if your human brain tells you that's not a possibility. Listen to your heart and your soul and allow a possibility to exist, okay? Next and last for our list of practical, I think that's last. Yes, it is. Okay. Practice random acts of kindness. Now, this not only boosts yourself up, but it boosts up the other individual whom you are practicing these random acts of kindness with. And some people say, well, what really is a random act of kindness? And it can be the most simple thing, guys. It can be simple as holding a door for somebody, When you're sitting in traffic, you pause a moment and let that car go in front of you that needs to pull out and get into the line of traffic. It can be something as simple as you're walking down the street. I'll give you an example. And I was walking my dog this morning, and there was this young lady coming by. She was jogging, and I took my dog and I moved over out of the way, and we both smiled and said good morning. Just being kind to one another. It isn't hard. We all know this. Like, literally being kind to one another is the easiest thing it is to do. It doesn't really take any effort, or even just to smile and say hi or good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it might be. Give someone a sincere compliment. That can raise their vibration, that can help cheer them up. If someone might be having a bad day, we don't know. If you're not in someone's shoes, you don't know. But I do it, and let it be a sincere compliment. I was in the grocery store the other day, and the young lady who was ringing me up, she just had this very beautiful long braids and things, and I complimented her and said, what beautiful hair, and she just lit up, like a candle, and she was like, thank you so much, and she's so happy. So just being sincere and kind in our actions toward one another, it doesn't take really any extra effort. It's as simple and easy as breathing, and it does lift both individuals and everybody else's vibration, so it does make a difference. I'm going to walk this way because it looks like the mowing guy is coming in this direction. Please excuse the noise, guys. Can you see how pretty that is? Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so I think that's it. Let me look at my little list here. Yep, I think we got them all. So that's it for staying at peace during this time, spiritual and practical tips. I hope there's something in there that you all found that you can apply to your life, to yourselves, or even sit down and just make up your own list, right? This is about what works for you, right? So make up your own list. Even just sit down and say, okay, let me just come up with 2 or 3 spiritual tips for myself and 2 or 3 practical ones that you can apply every day that will help you, that will make sure you do not get mired down, okay, in the negative energy that is just running rampant at this time. Okay, so let's lift one another up. Let's be supportive of one another, okay, and hang in there. Please do hang in there. Remember how much that you are loved beyond measure. You are loved beyond measure. You are supported. We have divine protection. You can always call on your angels, spirit guides, ancestors at any given time for assistance. They are there waiting to help us, and they are with us all the time, just as your creator is with you always and within you. You're never, ever, ever alone. Okay? So, that being said, if anyone has any requests for topics they would like me to do a video on, for us to talk about, I would love to do it. So, please just drop me a comment and I'll add it to my little list. I actually started a list the other day. You know how sometimes you just get that inspiration and it hits you, and there were certain things that just literally came pouring out of me. So I have like a 2-page list here of topics for videos, but I would be so happy to add to that if there's any you all would like to hear. All right, guys, hang in there. You are loved. I'm sending everybody great big hugs. Love, peace, and unity. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.